Instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create. You can't understand everything immediately. Sometimes you need to wait. Some goodbyes set you free. Be smart enough to ask for advice, but be wise enough to know who to seek it from. On a day when you don't come across any problems, you can be sure that you are traveling in the wrong path. The second you feel like you're hanging on by a thread, let go. You shouldn't be holding on to something that makes you feel that way in the first place. You can't make someone love you by giving them more of what they already don't appreciate. You think you know someone, but mostly you just know what you want to know. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Life changes for the better when we realize that we don't have to know everything, and we don't have to pretend that we do. Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. Never judge someone without knowing the whole story. You may think you understand, but you don't. Stop explaining yourself and telling people everything. You owe no one any explanation of what you do. Changes happen when we go against everything we're used to doing. Going back to your ex is like having a shower and putting dirty underwear back on. Don't make one person the center of all your happiness. Don't make them the reason why you are happy, because once that person walks away from your life, you're left with nothing. The greatest thing you can give yourself is freedom from what others think. You were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. If you're not resilient by now, life is only going to get tougher for you. To be content with what we possess is the greatest and most secure of riches. If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by doubling our joys and dividing our grief. The one to whom the service is rendered should remember about it, and the one who rendered it should not remember about it. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. The love you give in life keeps people alive beyond their time. Anyone who was given love will always live on in another's heart. Not being greedy is already wealth. Not being wasteful is income. Before a new chapter is begun, the old one has to be finished. Tell yourself that what has passed will never come back. Nothing is irreplaceable. A habit is not a need. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan, and what they have planned for you is not much. Chasing happiness will lead you to misery until you realize that happiness is the way. In fears and danger, we are more inclined to believe in miracles. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity, and the brute by instinct. The face is a picture of the mind, with the eyes as its interpreter. Knowledge, which is divorced from justice, may be called cunning rather than wisdom. History is the witness that testifies to the passing of time. It illumines reality, vitalizes memory, provides guidance in daily life, and brings us tidings of antiquities. If fate does not give you something, it means that it protects you from something. There are no snares more dangerous than those which lurk under the guise of duty or the name of a relationship. Don't quit. Sometimes the things you are hoping for come at unexpected times. You can't change someone who doesn't see a problem with their actions. Failure shows us the way by showing us what isn't the way. Stop overestimating others and underestimating yourself. Sometimes you have to suffer in life, not because you are a bad person, but because you didn't realize when to stop being good to the wrong person. You learn nothing from life if you think you're right all the time. You will never see the great things ahead of you if you keep looking at the bad things behind you. Stop asking why they kept doing it and start asking why you keep allowing it. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Trust yourself. You've survived a lot, and you'll survive whatever is coming. You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. Change is not a threat. It's an invitation to live. Difficult roads always lead to beautiful destinations. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. You don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. Life is inherently risky. There is only one big risk you should avoid at all costs, and that is the risk of doing nothing. Never overlook contempt. When someone views you with contempt and talks to you like you're beneath them, they will likely do you harm, whether relationally, socially, or physically. Remove that person from your life. Most of the time, you have to swallow the pain and learn to grow up by yourself. Commitment is what gets you started. Consistency is what gets you somewhere. And persistence is what keeps you going. Sacrifice today for tomorrow's betterment. You are willing to pay those payments with pain because pain is just a message when you are fixing something that's insufficient in your life. Be careful who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Don't blame a clown for acting like a clown. Ask yourself why you keep going to the circus. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. The fastest way to gain self-confidence is to do exactly what you are afraid of. Keep your expectations only to yourself. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. When something happens and it causes us pain, the pain is there to teach us a lesson. It is not so that we feel pain for the sake of pain. We must meet the challenge rather than wish it were not before us. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. The most important thing in life is learning how to fall. Let the improvement of yourself keep you so busy that you have no time to criticize others. Knowledge is not free. You have to pay attention. Only the disciplined ones in life are free. If you are undisciplined, you are a slave to your moods and your passions. Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Just because the boat rocks doesn't mean it's time to jump overboard. Live in reality as it is, not as you wish it was. Don't do anything you feel you'd have to lie about later. Every person alive hits a crossroads in life when you have to let go of the past and forge ahead into something new. The only sad thing would be clinging to the past once it's out of reach. Say no more than you wish to have said. Do no less than what you wish you have done. Sometimes which choice you make is not as important as making a choice and committing to it. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown your inner voice. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. A broken heart is just the growing pains necessary so that you can love more completely when the real thing comes along. People treating you poorly is a reflection on them, not you. Do not listen with the intent to reply, but with the intent to understand.